Learned opinion that we got, and we have been getting you these big opinions through the day as well. The man with the finger on the pulse of the market, Madhu Kela, Chief Investment Strategist at Reliance Capital, isn't unduly worried about the current correction in the market because of border news. In fact, he terms it as an opportunity by the markets to book some profit.
I think the point is that after you have had such a fantastic run, and let's not go only by the index rise, you know what has happened in a lot of companies. I wouldn't say that if the market consolidates at this level for some time, we have to give it some time. So it need not be a big price correction, it may be a time correction. So I wouldn't say that, let's say 9,000, 9,100 and 8,300, 400, that kind of a range, if market it spends 1, 2, 3, 4 months, I wouldn't be surprised to see that, you know. But now two things, what can cause it to go very negative? So there are one, is that if this whole India-Pakistan things really escalates and you have some kind of a real big retaliation and then we retaliate and a warlike situation happens, then of course, you know, we will have to review it as and when it happens. There's no way to predict it, neither do I want to make one attempt whether it is going to happen or not. Second is something which is globally something really goes wrong. And one big event is, you know, if Mr. Trump comes as a US president, that's a big event for whole global market, not only for Indian market. Now, will that cause a lot of volatility? I think it will cause a lot of volatility. So from a perspective, after such a big gain, it's not a bad thing for the market to consolidate time-wise and little bit price-wise.
Volatility aside, you know, even on Brexit Day, we had a lot of volatility, but that turned out to be a great buying opportunity.
Yeah.
So are you saying that, you know, any correction led by these global factors would still be a great buying opportunity? Or
yeah, I would say if the market falls, let's say another 10% from here, it will be a great buying opportunity.
Over the last 2 or 3 weeks, the foreign fund flows have ebbed. You can clearly see it in the numbers. And of course, we are heading into, you know, first Fed rate hike. Sooner or later, it will happen. So is that at risk? And do you think there's enough domestic liquidity to support the market in that case?
Before the Fed hike, I would say that the interest rate cut in India should happen on the 4th of this month or latest by the next credit policy. I think that is something which I would be watching very carefully. I do not think the Fed rate hike happens before the election, and I think American election, anyway, that is given.
But December rate hike looks
December rate hike looks, but that's not something which the market will worry. With so many events planned before that Fed hike, I don't think that is something which the market will worry. Market will first worry about the outcome of the US presidential election, and then we'll take it forward to what happens in December. So the fact of the matter is that, you know, there's so much money which is being made in the last 1-2 years in a lot of companies. So if you're not watching index, what all I'm trying to say, given where the geopolitical situation is, given the flow of money which is being taken away from the market, from the primary, given that we have a large event, and given that the earnings have not yet come. See, the last quarter was a disappointment. I do not think this quarter, again, we are going to see some fantastic results, which is not the market is hoping for. So, given all this, it is not it's not a bad outcome for the market to spend some time here. And the time-wise correction continues for another 2-3 months. I would not be surprised.
The point I was asking is that, you know, we have had days in our market where only 100 or 200 crores of net institutional selling has led to big decline. So all I'm asking is that in case we go through a period where we see a bit of a pullout from our market, in that case, where do you see the downside for this market?
See, as I said, that any downside, if it happens to the extent of another 7, 8, 10% from here, I'm saying it's a buying opportunity for medium long-term investors. Because, see, we discussed even in the past, now India is not going to be discovering again. It's a discovered story. Everyone knows that the next 10, 20 years is good, the demographic, everything is favorable. So the people who are left out of the market, this is the only opportunity. When the market declines like this, that is the only opportunity. You remember way back in February when the index went to around 7,000. At that time, we thumbed the table and said that is a buying opportunity. Yes. Because that is the only chance of yours to get into the market. So the people who are watching this show, my recommendation is that when the market actually falls, don't be afraid, because there are 99% people who have not yet come in the market. So let's not worry excessively about the 1% who are here. The 99% who are not here, and that is the only opportunity for them to enter the market.